Do you feel like you might be leaving pipeline on the table because you're just not 100% sure that you know how to use Sales Navigator correctly? If that's you, keep watching. I've taught hundreds of BDRs and AEs how to build laser-focused searches that find real buyers and not just random titles. Today, I'm going to show you how to learn Sales Navigator fast with 8 tips and filters that will help you find the perfect prospects. And I can almost guarantee that you've never seen number 7. It's especially important if you run teams or like to share your systems with your team. Then at the end, I'm going to put it all together and build a few targeted searches. Also, if you have any questions along the way, just drop them into the comments and I'll make sure that I respond to them. Let's dive in. To begin, let's make sure you're actually logged into Sales Nav. So once you're in LinkedIn, you're going to click on this Sales Nav icon on the top right-hand corner, and that will get you into Sales Navigator. Now, today's tips are all about lead filters, and they assume that you already have some type of account list already set up that's been given to you by your organization. If you would like to learn a little bit more about how to build account lists, let me know in the comments so that I can make a video for that as well. Number 1 is probably the most powerful and the least understood, or at least utilized from my experience, and it's the keyword filter. Now, this keyword search is by far the thing that you should be using every single time, and here's why. When you use a keyword search, it searches everything on your prospect's profile. This includes their title, their job description, their own personal descriptions, the schools they've gone to. And if you think about it, everybody's LinkedIn is a living resume. They're trying to show their current employer and their future employers what they're good at. And this usually includes the tools they've used, the technologies they've implemented, and the certifications they've gained. What we want to do is use this to our advantage. Let's say the software you currently sell integrates with HubSpot or Salesforce or CrowdStrike. If you type in those words here and it's mentioned on somebody's profile, that person is going to show up. So for instance, if I type in CrowdStrike and hit enter, I'm going to find all the people who mention CrowdStrike on their profile. This is just the first step, and we're going to have to filter down more, but you have to realize that if you want to find the right people, go after the tools they're already using, whether that's an integration partner or your competitors. If you search your competitors here, you're going to start to see the people who are already current customers of products like yours, and this is a gold mine for finding new leads. Number 2 is to use negative filters. Finding the inverse is always so important when you're looking for great leads. Let's say we just typed in CrowdStrike into the keyword search like we did, but we're also going to find people who work at CrowdStrike or have worked at CrowdStrike because they mention it as one of their previous companies. So we're going to go to current company, and when we've clicked this, we're now seeing all the people who currently work at CrowdStrike, but we want to find the people who don't work at CrowdStrike. So if we hit this little not sign, it is now showing us people who mention CrowdStrike in their profile, but don't currently work at CrowdStrike. This is another way to narrow it down just a little further. Now, there still could be the potential that someone who used to work at CrowdStrike is in this list because it was a past company of theirs. So if you want to, you can also go in here and you can go to past company and you can put in CrowdStrike, and instead of including it, you can exclude CrowdStrike. So now we're only looking at the people who mention CrowdStrike on their profile because they use the tool, not because they currently work there or have worked there in the past. Now, just make sure you're using this filter intentionally because there could be people who have worked at CrowdStrike in the past and gone to a prospect of yours, and now they're working there as another individual contributor, and they might be a great contact for you. So just make sure you're doing this properly. Also, you'll see that there are 17,000 people on LinkedIn who mention CrowdStrike on their profile who don't work there now and haven't in the past. It's a very powerful filter. Tip number 3 is all about using the function filter with the title filter. One of the things I see new reps and BDRs do is they come in here and they go to current job title and they'll search in something like security to find anyone with security in their title. The problem is when you do this, you're not only going to find people maybe in cybersecurity, you might also find people who are in physical security, the actual people guarding the building. So what you need to do to filter this down more is go to Function, and you're going to go to Information Technology and include that department. By using both filters together, you're now telling Sales Navigator to look for people who have security in their title, but make sure they're also in the IT department and not just physical security guarding the building. Tip number 4 is all about spotting new decision makers. So if we expand the filters again and scroll down to the recent updates section, we're going to see changed jobs. What this is going to do is look for people who have switched jobs in the last 90 days. This is prospecting gold. These new hires are usually looking to make an impact and do it quickly, so they might be open to conversations about new tools and procedures that can either help them cut costs, increase revenue, or secure their environment. The other thing you might want to layer on top of this is the seniority level. If I click in here and make sure that I'm only looking at directors and vice presidents and CXOs, I'm only going to be looking at people who are higher up in the organization with actual authority to make changes who have switched jobs recently. Two other filters that are really similar to this are the years in current company and years in current position. So I'm going to turn off the changed jobs, and I'm going to say years in current position is less than 1 year, meaning they've recently been promoted into that role. And then I'm going to say time at current company is 3 to 5 years. By doing this, I'm going to find people who are directors, vice presidents, CXOs, who have been in their company from 3 to 5 years. So they have political clout there and political capital, but they've recently been promoted into one of these roles in the last 1 year, meaning they're probably looking to make changes. This again is another way to find prospects who are looking to make an impact in their organization. Tip number 5 is all about engaging with people who are actually on LinkedIn. I can't tell you how many times I thought I found the amazing prospect, but they don't have a profile picture. There's not a lot of great stuff there, and I'm realizing this is probably not someone who's active on this platform. So one of my favorite filters to use is posted on LinkedIn. If you click this, it's now filtering down to people who have posted on LinkedIn at least once in the last 30 days. If you take all your other filters that we've built out and then throw this on, you're going to see people who are choosing to be active in LinkedIn. The question is, how do you use this? For me, I like to actually go into their profile, scroll down, and look at some of their recent LinkedIn activity. You can open it up and read it and leave a really good, thoughtful comment. Not just something like great insight or good share. Actually read the article and respond with some good thought leadership about the field you're selling into. When it comes to really important prospects that I know are going to make a difference to me, this is how I like to interact with them. I want to make sure I engage with their content first with thoughtful information so that when I do finally reach out, we already have a conversation going. It's one of the best ways to warm up a lead before you reach out to them. Number 6 is really straightforward. It's using the Not in CRM tab to find brand new leads who've never been touched by your organization before. So very simple, open up your lead filters and you're going to just scroll down and you're going to say people in CRM. Now, unfortunately, I'm not connected to an organization that has the CRM built in right now, so I can't show you exactly how it works. But all you have to do is flip Not in CRM, and it will show you every single person in that entire search you've created that's not actually set up in your HubSpot or your Salesforce. This means that they've never been prospected by you or anyone at your company before, so they're net new. I love this filter because it allows me to find fresh contacts to reach out to, and I can't tell you how many times we've booked meetings with people just off this filter. So if you're looking to find brand new hot leads that have never heard of your company before, use people not in CRM. I tease number 7 as one that you've probably never seen before, and I'm probably right. You see, it's actually not in the LinkedIn Sales Navigator, but it is one of the most powerful ways to help your team scale and have consistent prospecting and searches across the entire organization. Technically, you could create some filters and then come down here and hit Share Search. The problem is, you can only share that search with people in your organization and one person at a time. So it might make sense if you're a BDR sharing a list with an AE. But what if you wanted everyone in your org to be able to have the exact same searches? What most people don't realize is that the query criteria from the Sales Nav search is built into the URL. So what I actually recommend doing, and what I did with my team, is create a Google Sheet that has a table in it with a title for the search, a description of what it's going to look for so that people know why this search is important. It could be around a certain persona or even a specific tool that you integrate with. Then I like to put in the user who wrote and shared this query, and then you put in the URL itself just right there. Now everyone can come in, click this URL, and have the exact same search. Here's what I recommend you do. Don't include any account lists in it. This way, you put all of the lead criteria out there to the entire org, and then each person just puts in their account list for their AE or for their territory. When they do this, all of a sudden, it takes all the lead criteria and applies it to that territory at once. This is your secret to make sure that everyone on your team is prospecting like they've been using Sales Navigator for 10 years. I hope you liked it. Let's move on to number 8. Just like number 7, number 8 doesn't really have to do with LinkedIn Sales Navigator itself. It actually has to do with data enrichment. A lot of times you'll find these prospects in LinkedIn Sales Nav, but now you need their email or their phone number. One of the best ways to do that is with a third-party data enrichment tool. There are a lot out there, and I just wanted to walk you through some of the most popular ones at this current moment. We've got FullEnrich, which is new to the scene. It pulls data not just from one provider, but multiple providers in order to make sure that it gets you the best accurate information. It doesn't have a Chrome extension, so if you want to get someone's information, you have to come into their website, put in the LinkedIn URL of that person's profile, and then tell it if you want the phone number and email, just the mobile phone, or just the work email of that contact. It's free to sign up, and they give you some free credits when you do, so if you haven't used it, you should definitely check it out. Another one that's big on the scene is Seamless.AI. They have individual accounts as well as corporate accounts. They also have a Chrome extension that allows you to import the contacts directly from LinkedIn Sales Nav searches into your CRM, which is pretty convenient. If you haven't used this one, you should try to check it out. Another one I've used for years is Hunter.io. This one is great for finding emails and testing and validating email addresses. If you haven't used it before, I highly recommend it, especially around email validation. Then of course, there's the 800-pound gorilla in the room, which is ZoomInfo. This one is great for teams, and if you have a large organization, I definitely check this out because they not only have information on contacts and prospects, they also do demographic info like a Dun & Bradstreet. That is pretty good. If you're interested in trying out any of these tools, just head into the description. I've got a link for every single one of them. Now, full disclosure, they are affiliate links, but I'm only recommending tools here that I've actually used in my own prospecting. Plus, it allows me to keep the lights on and continue making videos like this for you. All right, let's put it all together and do some searches right now. I'm gonna start from the very beginning, and we're gonna click on lead filters. Then I'm gonna scroll down to the bottom, and I'm gonna go to account lists, and I'm going to add my TOLA account list that I've created. Now, what we're gonna find is there's already 4 million results. These are going to be all the employees at these organizations, and I'm just gonna run this search as if I were searching for people at one of my old companies. So it's gonna be cybersecurity related, but the systems are still the same. So the next thing I'm gonna do is come to job title. I'm gonna put in security, and I'm gonna just put that in there. And then I'm gonna go to operations, and I'm gonna add in information technology. So as you can see, we've gone from the millions of users down to 8,500. But this is still way too many, and we need to bring it down a little more. So what we can do is start adding in some of those things, like, let's see what tools are using. Let's do CrowdStrike. So now we've narrowed this down to about 95 people who actually mention CrowdStrike in their profile. But let's go a little bit further and come to the posted on LinkedIn. And now we're down to just 11 contacts. This is a manageable group of prospects that you could go in and read their recent post and actually comment on them in a thoughtful way. Now, we could also go a little bit further and look at people who have changed jobs recently. And now it comes down to 2 people. These are 2 people who have changed jobs recently, mentioned CrowdStrike in their profile, and have recently posted on LinkedIn. Now, they may not be the ideal person you want to reach out to as a prospect to start a demo, but I guarantee that if you go through and read their profiles, you'll start to understand the toolings and the priorities of the organization you're trying to sell to. Again, this is prospecting gold. This is when you start to go from being an average seller to a seller armed with information about each and every organization you're selling to. This is the kind of prospector you want to become. All right, so let's do one more. I have cleared all of the filters as well as the keyword search. You want to make sure you do that. Then we're going to come back in here, add my TOLA account list, and you'll see we have 4 million people. So let's start to reduce this. We'll go over to function. We're going to include information technology again. Then I'm going to look at seniority level. Let's do director, let's do CXO, and let's do vice president. And we'll see how many we have left. There's still 10,000 left. So we could filter off of job changed. We could also filter in time that they've been at the company or time in position. And I think that's an interesting one. So I want to do less than 1 year in the position, but I also want them to have some political clout at the company. So let's do 3 to 5 years at their company. Now we have 112 contacts that are directors, VPs, or CISOs who have been at their company from 3 to 5 years, but have only been in their current role for less than 1 year. This is a great place to start looking, but let's maybe go a little bit further and we can, again, put on this posted on LinkedIn filter, and we're down to 28 people. As you can see, when you start building these filters and layering them together, you get highly refined searches. This is where you stop wasting time chasing random contacts and actually reaching out to true buyers. Not only that, but when you spend time looking at their profiles, you'll start to see how they use the tools, why they use the tools, what's important to them, and it allows you to make a much more customized message when you reach out. This is how you stop wasting time chasing random contacts and actually going after real buyers. And if you're serious about mastering your craft and growing in your sales career, like this video and subscribe to the channel right now. Because every week I'm dropping videos like this, as well as ones about leadership and mindset. And if this is your first time here, make sure you check out the Start Here playlist. I think it'll be exactly what you need today.